Hello everyone and welcome to this week's project. This week I have a 2.5 by 10 maple bowl blank and it's graded a AA that I picked up at Rockler. Using a woodworm screw and screwing it on the worm screw, making sure it's tight, and then truing it up with the bowl gouge. So if you watched last week's video, you know that there is a contest for naming the last project. So make sure you watch until the end so you can find out who wins and see some of the very creative names that were shared. I appreciate everyone's creativity. We had a lot of participation, so thanks again. And if you haven't seen last week's video, I'll put a card up here so you can go watch it, and I'll link it in the video description as well. Still would be interested to hear your thoughts, even though the contest is over. So I just showed a picture of the lathe speed. I was at about 920 or 930 RPM, which is a pretty good speed. Using the bowl gouge still to work on the bottom and the mortise, the foot. Now, if you've watched any of my videos before, you know that throughout projects, sometimes I change my mind, or as some have reminded me in the comments, that the wood speaks to me. And that has certainly happened in this project as well a couple times. So you can watch the whole video and see where the design change happens and let me know what you think along the way or of the final project. So clearly, as you can see, I was not happy with the first foot I made. It wasn't quite symmetrical, in my opinion, to the larger shape of the piece. So I redid the foot, as you can see here, using the skew chisel. All of the tools and products I use will be linked in the video description. I mostly use the Carter & Son bowl gouge and skew chisel for this project. Working on softening the edges. Sanding with 80 grit. I sanded from 80 grit up to 320. And after sanding with 320, I flip it around and mount it in the foot, the mortise, in the chuck, and gonna hollow out. So to preface this, I would say that my first thought was to leave a very, very wide rim and just a small, not even really a usable bowl, more of an art piece, I guess. Like about 2-3 inches wide, the bowl piece of it. And you'll see me stop the lathe here in a minute and look at it, and a few times I'll stop and look at it. And there I am making the bowl part a little bit bigger to see what it looks like. My thought was when I stopped the lathe here, it looked like a big sombrero or an album. And then that's not what I was going for, either one. So I kept turning. So I continued taking some material off until I was happy with the dimensions of the rim and of the bowl. I kept stopping and checking, and in reference to sort of the live edge piece, I wanted to make that a feature of it, and I didn't want anything to take away from it. I switched to the curved tool rest to get some final cuts. I get a lot of questions about this tool rest. It is a Robust brand tool rest, 12-inch interior curved tool rest, and it is linked in the video description if you are interested in checking it out. It's the kind of thing where you don't think you need, but once you have it, you're like, how did I live without it? So what I'm doing here is I'm making sort of a secondary rim to be a feature, and let the rim with the live edge be on its own, and then the bowl sort of come up from that, if you will. You'll see what I mean when we get closer to the end. So I sanded just like the back. I sanded from 80 to 320 grit. Took the dust off with denatured alcohol, and now I am using masking tape to cover the rim because we are going to use dye on the inside of the piece. I know, I'll probably get comments of why, how could you cover up that beautiful wood? Just watch until the end, please. Using intrinsic colors, black, And instead of a paper towel, using a Scotch-Brite pad. Just really wanted to get it down into the pores of the wood. I did not plan on sanding any off like you see me do sometimes. I was not putting another color of stain on here. So I was going for a deep black, which as you can see was achieved. So I do go over it with a clean Scotch-Brite pad, and this is just to really kind of burnish it in, not off. You know, some color did come off on the Scotch-Brite pad, but nothing really to speak of. Here I am with the paper towel burnishing it as well. So once that was dry, making sure there's no dust, and then I'm using this copper color, which is acrylic paint, and I'm going to put that on the black. So just going with the flow here, this wasn't what I intended when I started the project, but as I got going, and especially once the black was on there, it needed some, I'm not really sure what you call it, rust color, or patina, or wear and tear, or somebody will let me know in the comments of the word I can't think of. Anyway, using some lacquer here for the inside, kind of seal that in. Taking the tape off, and have a little cleanup work to do on the sort of secondary internal rim. And so I'm going to be taking some sandpaper and carefully sanding that off, trying not to touch the inside of the bowl, really trying to just get a clean line. So using sanding sealer now on the back and on the rim. I do not put it over the lacquer. And after the sanding sealer is dried, I denim it with a Scotch-Brite pad. And then use the Axe abrasive sanding paste, which I have a coupon code for if you go down in the video description. Use code PF15 and you can save 15% off your order. And they do have smaller kits available now. Made in the USA, and a great product. Highly recommended. You can go right to their website, axewoodpaste.com, and check it out. This is the Axe polishing paste, my absolute favorite part. You can just watch it come to life, really. Hey, if you're new to the channel, welcome. And if you are so inclined, please click that subscribe button as well as the bell icon. You'll get notified whenever we upload a new project. Going to give the camera a little close up here, and then make sure to stick around for all the comments for naming the last piece. I promise it is entertaining. Giving the piece a final polish here, and there'll be some photographs, some beauty shots coming up, so don't go anywhere. After the beauty shots, stick around for the naming contest to see the very creative names that you guys shared, and I share a few of those and then the winner. So coming right up, don't go anywhere. Congratulations, Tim. If you're watching, message me with your info and I'll be in touch. Thanks, everyone. Peace out.